Hi friends, welcome to testing tutorials point. This is Lokesh and today we are going to discussing about what is page factory and how to implement page factory into our Selenium Kukubo. And here basically, and this is the one is like extension of the POM object repository and how we can able to use POM creation for that objects and test scripts and how we can able to utilize into our Selenium Cucumber in the previous video. Okay, the same one we are going to utilize and we can able to run using for phase factory. It's we can able to say like what is phase factory means it is a simple and easier implementation of the page object model in a Selenium. It's a Selenium inbuilt of the optimized page object model concept. Okay, this form has basically separation of the objects and tests, and this is basically we learn about previous video how we can able to create objects into separation, and this is the format we created for objects creation, correct? In the same format we are going to use for that phase factory, but there is additional one it is using for @find by to find the web element. Now we find the web element using like this by name equal to by.id, and we specified the name of that file, correct? But in the phase factory what will happen, in this format we are going to use for @find to find the web element and any kind of locators. And basically this is basically it will initialize the elements to initialize the web element on a calling of initElements method all objects on a page that get initialized. And how we can able to implement this phase factory is basically we need to create first class for each page. How we are created the same way we need to create another class. Now here in the page I'm going to create one more same objects place only. I'm going to create for one more class, or else I'll create one package, and that I can able to create page factory package. Okay, it's a class. We need to create package. Inside the package I'm going to creating my class, that is page factory, because we are doing for page factory. For that I'm going for this, and we have already the links and all, and in the previous video we set up that link and all, right? And here I'm going to take for example of this example test. Okay, I'm opening to the browser for your understanding purpose. Okay, and this here we are going to find this all elements using @find element. Okay, this ID, and the same way I'm going to take for password and login button. Okay, and here phase factory place I'm going to use for @find by, and I can able to specify like this. See, now I'm going to utilizing that page object, and we are going to initializing that page objects. Okay, and we can able to find it our using that id equal to name, and here I'm going to use for web element, and this web element I can able to say name. Now my find by element is ready for name, and the same format I can able to do it for remaining things, that is called and find by like this, and we can able to specify anything, and we done like that at the rate find by id equal to name. And the previous video we done like by name equal to by dot id we specified and we used for name, right? To overcome that we are using this. Okay, now I'm going to use for password find by, and I can able to specify id equal to my password fields. One is password, web element, and I can able to say password. Now again I can able to specify button id equal to login, web element login. Now I'm going to creating for a method to do it, to sending that email name. We need to go send the value, right? Like this we are going to creating send name, right? And previous we done for driver dot find element, and we specify the name dot send keys. To overcome that, here what we can able to use like public void enter name, and I'm specifying two values. I need to reading purpose name 1, or else we can able to say username, and here what I can do name dot send keys, and this send keys I'm going to use for username. Okay, this format we can able to use it and send into our value. Now previous what we done, and we are using driver dot find element and name dot send keys, and name we passing, right? To reducing that we are going to use for like this name dot send keys, and we are spending that username. For same thing we are going to use for password, enter password, and I can able to say send keys password 1, password dot send keys, and I can able to specify password 1, and I'm going to use for button void click login, and here is nothing required, and that's why I'm going to use login dot click concept. And now what we done up to here, we initialize that web elements, but we can't able to call this object into our page. How we can able to use means, and we need to initialize like this constructor, and we have to do that this dot driver equal to driver, correct? And I'll show you one more example here. Now I'm going to creating for my page factory constructor is basically we can able to once initialize whenever we create an object of this class. By default our constructor will call, and we can able to read our values. What all the values we initialize, that all the values it will initialized. And here I need to initiate my web driver. Okay, now same thing I'm going to do for this dot driver equal to driver. Okay, to reading which we are going to using for our steps, and you can able to see in these steps what are the values we are reading here the method, right? To reading purpose we are going to calling that particular driver, means this driver Once we refer into this object, by default it will call and it will reused. Okay, now my method is ready. Correct. Now another one I'm going to use for, and main thing, our page factory. How we can able to use page factory initialization? Basically means we created locators of the all objects and create the method and action to perform the objects. These three steps we done. And fourth one to initializing that web element driver, and we need to do for page factory dot initElements. What it is, basically what it will done, we'll see. Now page factory, if you are seeing here, page factory, there is a object dot org dot openqa dot selenium support. It is page factory to make sure that page object similar and easier. Okay, dot initElements, and this initElement, it is basically it will take for driver and this concept, and because it is taking, this is basically class name and both the places are same name, that's why it is taking like that. I'm going to renaming my class. I'll rename, we'll update that, and we can go ahead here and creating one more time. Now it will say there is no naming convention, right? Here we can able to take it. Now up it is get, and once we create an init element and driver dot and this concept we need to provide, and here is this we need to specify. And what will happen, this initialization, it will initialize that all elements. You can able to see as a initialize element, it will basically search for that class, but we will only replace that fields of the already initiated the page object. Means what are the things already initiated, it will initialize that elements into that runtime. Okay, now my page factory class is ready. Now I want to reuse into my class. Then there is a login field. This is the concept we are going to use: name, password, and verification of the name. And we have already step creation, right? You can able to see step creation also we have already. And this step creation I'm going to use one small example, like you can able to see here. Now this is my concept, and here we are used for login page 1, correct? In the login driver we initiated, and we used the different format, login dot enter name and methods we are used, right? The same format we are going to use page factory. Okay, I'm going to reusing this concept. To do that, and just if I do copy paste again, it will like differentiation, it will happen. And I will go for my runner class, one class, and we'll see. And here only in the page factory place I can able to create one class for that. Steps for page factory. Okay, now here I'm going to use the same login things, and there are steps, it is there present already. I'm copy pasting these steps and pasting here. Okay, and also I'm going to use to initiate my WebDriver, because we need to open for my WebDriver, right? To do that, I'm going to use for WebDriver. Okay, now my WebDriver and everything is there, and here I am going to creating for my page object model things like object creation. Once I created, it will save for that, and I'm going to use for the name, and here I'm going to use for button, click login button, and enter password and enter name, and the both are the same methods are presented here, same, right? In the page factory, enter name and enter password and click login button, and okay, my it is ready, and I'm going to create one runner class. Run page factory. I'm saving here, and one runner class I'm going to do, and this all the things I'm going to copy pasting my runner class. And is a glue code is basically I have this page factory, and that package name I'm going to copy paste here, because we need to call our steps to run our this feature file, my first feature file, that is called this one, but I need to call this one, sorry. I have to call my login page, that is having the steps for this all the things, correct? And up to here what we done, all the creation and constructor we created and initiated, and the method refresh and page factory we created, and we need to check for runner class whether it is working or not. Just I'm going to do for here running. Once I start run, and it will call to the steps, and it will initialize, and we can able to see here, because we done the parameterization, right? Due to that, it will take for 2 times the browser initiation, and it will do for login, and it will verify the value. Now one time it is logged in, and second time it is going to run. Now again it is taking the again, and it is run, and it is closed. Okay, this is the way we can able to use our page factory. And also some useful tips it is presented. One is cache lookup. Cache lookup is basically what will happen. Cache lookup is like cache. We can be used to instruct the init elements and method to cache the element once the locator, and so that it will not be searched over again whenever we calling to the it from another method. Means once you use like this catch up one into a web element, and you can go to here steps, page factor steps place, and we can able to go top, and here once you click that find element, and you can able to use here at the rate catch up. Once you use this catch up, what will happen, it will save into your local place for this locator, and whenever running it is multiple times, then it will take for that cache the value. It will not search for the web element again, and it will go for cache, and it will store for that element. Okay, this will work for will the basic web application, not for recommendation if you are using Ajax calls. When you using the Ajax applications, this DOM it will not work. And also whenever it is we are getting for state element exception, then you can avoid for this catchy lookup. If you use that, it will fail it. And second one is Ajax call application to handling load time for element and to avoiding no such element exception. We can use for Ajax element locator factory class. If you're using Ajax call element locator factory, then what will happen in the time of web element, we can able to create assign to the object the class with the Ajax web element or locator. Means here what will happen, you can able to see this one. I'm going to initiating here and in the phase factor place, and here I'm going to use for my Ajax class, and this one I'm going to use here. It is basically take the driver, right? And this place I'm going to use for Ajax element locator factory, and we can able to specify 30 seconds or 40 seconds how many times we require. That many times we can able to use it into our class. And this is also it will recommendation for Ajax calls utilization purpose. And also we can able to use third usage, it is like n number of elements phase factor finding, like multiple web elements finding. We are using a find elements, right? The same way we can able to use here find by. And once you see here, there is a second option find bys. It is basically it will take for list of web element finding, means n number of values we can able to store. And previous in normal way we can able to use a driver dot find elements to finding the a list of web elements, right? The same way we can able to use for here find a by bys. This will also it will return for multiple web elements. This all about for useful things, tips also. Okay, if I hope you understand this video. If you like this video, please like my video, please subscribe my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share your friends and colleagues. Thank you.